Education in the social era goes beyond book knowledge. And most of those who lead different industries might never have experienced your kind of formal education. So Oludare Akinlaja, with his initiative Yadavasity, creates a platform where experienced industry experts train rookies on their path. This episode, Dare talks about his book, Yadavasity, and much more.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Break in the Coconut Show. My name is Charles Umeh. Today I have a guest. I'll first introduce him as an author, but I know he would tell us every other thing he does. His name is Oludare Akinlaja. Welcome, Dari, to the BTC Show.
Thank you very much. It's awesome. It's nice to be here.
So firstly, Dari wrote this book,
Did I?
The Leadership Revolution, Not Too Young to Lead. So apart from this, who is Dari?
Okay, so in the last 2-3 years, I've had to really ask myself, who is Dari really? Because I found out that when you're very active and very creative, you tend to spiral out of control, which is dangerous for what you do. So I said I'm going to focus on it. So for now, I tell people I'm an educationist.
Okay.
Focusing on technical, vocational, educational trainings. I lecture. I'm also an author. I speak at conferences too, so I can say I'm a conference speaker. If you're looking for a word to typify that group of people. Then I'm also involved in policy making. I tell people that if we're not all involved in governance and how governance affects our nation, I don't think we're doing anything really. So that piques my interest in policies. I'm the president of Yadavasity.
Interesting.
Yadavasity is a technical vocational education training institute.
Okay.
Trying to build a human capital base that can drive sustainable development for Africa. In simple terms, what it means is that we want to really build people that can apply what they have learned.
Okay.
In Africa, we have lots of head knowledge with very few people that have learned to apply what they have learned.
Okay.
So we're focused on creating a learning community that's all about transference of knowledge. That's from generating it to transferring it to learning how to implement it so people can actually implement what they have learned.
Wait.
Yes.
Relax.
Okay, sir.
I'm a completely layman.
Okay.
I have no idea of everything you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I know one thing.
Yeah.
There's a guy in front of me. He's talked about Yadavasity.
Yeah.
And I don't even have a clue of what it is.
Yeah.
So how do you tell me that understand a bit of English?
Yeah.
But really understands there's something called, since there's varsity, it means it's like a knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge institute, yeah.
So how do you explain that to completely layman that's watching?
It's a school.
Perfect.
The best way to explain it is a school. But another explanation is what kind of school. So I tell people it's a school, but the idea behind this kind of school is how many people go through our normal educational process in Africa and come out and don't have to be retrained to do the things they really need to do.
Very few.
So you have organizations that will employ people that will still take you for another training again because you need to know the things that you need to know.
Sure.
But in my mind, I'm saying, do we need to go through all that process? Why not begin at a certain level where you can begin to train people to be effective in the life of work and enterprise? Okay. So it's about people that are being effective in the workplace, also about people that have hands-on skills, fashion designing, interior decoration, technology. The basis of the school is teach people what they can apply.
Okay, perfect.
I have a friend who read BSc in history. So when I was going to ask him, so now that you are done reading this thing, what are you going to be able to do in Nigeria with the history you have learned? So you will naturally have people in Nigeria that have read one thing for BSc, then have to learn something else so they can be effective. Because education is meant to make you relevant in your society.
I completely agree.
So if what you have learned does not make you relevant, you are not educated.
You're what?
You are school. you are I don't know, you're a library or something. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
Now, the two things that found it easy for us to communicate and the attraction was this: you've chosen that path for knowledge.
Yeah.
You've decided to be like that umbrella that is going to accommodate people in, let's say, in this new era. We have few people going this path. You've chosen. Education is not lucrative in this part of the world, and that's the open truth. You have few people invest in this, but we both know that without education, obviously you can't do anything. So choosing a path that is completely rare, how has the journey been for you? And what was that thing what made you finally say, this is it?
Okay, so I'll correct something. Not that it's not lucrative.
Okay.
I'll give you a quick statistics. The amount of schools in Lagos alone, in Alimosho local government, is more than the schools in some 4 states of Nigeria put together.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, that's because primary and secondary school education is lucrative.
Okay.
Because people must send their children to primary school.
Very compulsory.
They must send their children to okay, so secondary school begins to reduce. But primary schools, at least basic education, people want to give their children.
True.
The difference now is what kind of education. Do I just build a system and give people certificate and say, okay, you have come, maybe going now? Whether they can use it or not, it's not my business. The only thing that can stop education is war. People will always go to school. So it's a very big business. But what kind of education and what levels of the education?
At the end of the day, let's be truthful. How many of the things you learned from school did you finally use?
For the life of me. So because we read engineering, we engineers always like to make it look very, very, so we don't feel bad that we wasted 5 years. Yep. We make statements like, engineering made you critical in your thinking.
No, but somehow it does.
Yeah, yeah, I understand, but that's always what we used to make ourselves not feel bad that we wasted 5 years or 6 years, depending on how many years you spent in the engineering department or in your engineering course. So, but for me, it was about profound knowledge and how profound knowledge could. So it first felt as I liking profound knowledge, then it gravitated towards how then can I transfer it to other people, to make people make better life decisions, to make our society a better place. Because I found out that what we do and how we exist in society is all a form of knowledge.
Yep, knowledge.
Knowledge strings together society, makes another man treat another man better, makes another man invent an idea, so knowledge is the string that pulls society together, and how knowledge is used is what strings society together and makes society a better place. So for me, it gravitated from my personal desire for profound knowledge. Then, of course, grows to how knowledge can then be transferred. I think the beauty is that I like to talk a lot, so it just gelled.
Okay.
It just gelled. So I didn't just know it, I always like to share it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at this part you've chosen,
Yeah.
I read this book, amazing book.
Yeah.
How has it been for? What was the feedback from the young people who you've been able to let read something as good as this?
First of all, when people see the title,
Yeah.
it's like revolution. You know, because we have been attuned to the fact that when you hear the word revolution, it has to be with either fight or bloodshed or something, based on what we have read through history. Every time the word revolution was mentioned, the French Revolution, that revolution, it had to do with some form of combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, people then realize that, whoa, the concept of what this book is saying is actually how can we create change by deliberate action?
Okay.
How can we be deliberate in creating change? How can we be deliberate in allowing young people enter into leadership spaces? So for young people that have read it, it takes their mind out of even just politics. No, because we always think that leadership revolution is just about politics.
That's the mindset.
You know, but young people are seeing that, you know what, it's about you leading in education, leading in technology, leading in tourism, leading in business, leading in, you know, we need to have that ripple effect of leadership in every sphere.
Yeah. Because you've chosen education.
Yeah.
And that's your world.
Yeah, that's it.
So you're at the end of the day, you're meant to be a king
In that
this world.
space. So I'm trying to tell people, you see, leadership is not just about you wanting to occupy political office as a governor, as an house of rep, or as a leader. Now, those things are good, but you need to think outside the box because we need that cohesion in every sphere for our effect to be felt in governance.
Okay.
So it's a mindset change for most young people that, you know what, I'm taking light this thing I'm doing. What I'm doing is not just a business, or it's not just a means of making money, or it's not just a means of putting my name on Twitter everywhere. It's my leadership position, my place of authority where I can exert influence. You know, so that's the perspective the book gives.
Beautiful. What's your big picture for Yadavasity?
My dream is simple. I want them to place Yadavasity and place other existing universities, other existing institutes. And if people really want to learn what they can apply that will make them relevant in society, you will come to university.
Why? I'm asking this critical question because you're a critical person.
Yeah.
And this is not an emotional thing.
Yeah.
We both know this is not emotional.
Well,
thing.
you can be emotional sometimes.
No, you don't have to be emotional. you
To
repeat.
sell the message, your eyes has to be tearing.
The only time you get emotional is when you're in front of an investor.
How they can invest their money.
Yeah, you become very emotional.
Emotional, so
But
they
when
can.
it comes to being realistic with your dreams,
Yeah.
it has to be very clear.
Yeah.
If you've not seen it, don't jump.
Yeah.
So for me, what was it for you? What gives you this strong conviction that this part, this clarity I have, because you're trying, what you're asking us is to come with you.
Yeah.
So why should we come with you?
Now, one of the beautiful things about ideas, or about, which is why when I hear an idea from a person, I'm sure you have heard me use this word a lot, credence. From where are you drawing your strength?
Yeah.
Where are you drawing this desire from? Which is why research is good. Around the world now, not just in Nigeria, it's a desire. It's called technical, vocational, and education training.
Okay.
In fact, in China now, they are starting from secondary schools. In the United Nations, they have what they call the Sustainable Development Goals 4.
Yep.
Where we're talking about quality education and inclusion for education for all. At the UNESCO level, they're talking about, so it's a conversation. In fact, the word technical vocational educational training was adopted by the UNESCO to create an umbrella name for all these things we have been talking about. Technical education meaning fashion design, and technical education meaning engineering, then work and career education, work and career paths. So all that fall under the umbrella of the TVET, technical vocational education training. So my assurance is in the fact that I'm not the only person that is crazy, because you draw strength from such assurances that there is a trigger somewhere. Some people might not have seen it yet, but it's certainly going to happen.
So what Yadavasity will finally be would be like that school where it will be a skills school.
Yeah. So TVT is divine. So if I'm going to give a definition of what TVT, technical vocational education training is a place where it's a kind of training where skills and knowledge are acquired for society and for the place of work.
Okay.
So if you say skills, that's one. Because not every form of knowledge transfer culminates in skills. So, because if you say skills, that means I can use my hand. So I'm a fashion designer, my interior decor, my this. Now that's skills.
Transferable skills.
Yeah?
That's transferable skills.
Some form is knowledge.
Which is the hardest part to transfer.
Yes! Which is the hardest part to transfer because those things come by exposure and experience. If people have not experienced any form of knowledge, it doesn't sit.
True. Most of the time.
Most of the time. You know, so that's why we're having a problem in our universities. Why? Because people that have not built businesses want to transfer the knowledge of doing business.
Do you blame them?
So that's why Yadavasity is there, so that people that have done it. I had a mentor who wanted to lecture at a university after 25 years practicing media and communication. And he went to the university, Charles, and they said he couldn't lecture because he doesn't have a PhD.
Which university?
I can't mention. So they don't sue us. Yeah, but that's...
You didn't fall for it, is okay?
Yeah, no. So that's the idea. We want to create an environment in the school where people that have learned can transfer knowledge. That way it is applicable, it is experiential. It is project-based. You're not just trying to create a case study out of the air. These are people who have... Now, this is not to say that there are people that are lecturing that are not exposed. Or people that are in these schools that are not having this experience. But you see, even the streamlined nature of the environment does not allow those people teach it the way they want to teach it.
Okay, so what we are going to be doing with IADA is you're doing reverse engineering. You're deciding to say, okay, keep your knowledge. Let's play with those with experience.
Reverse is experiential learning. That's the word for it. Where you learn by experiencing, either directly through you. So in Germany, for instance, they have what they call dual system of learning, where you are going to school but you're doing apprenticeship.
Which is more impactful?
Which is why I always think that the 3 months break or 4 months break people have after their semester, what are they doing in the house?
It's not their fault.
It's the government. You need to be deliberate about it. You know, if we don't start having conversations about it, people will not think it important.
Now, this conversation is interesting. Let's not conclude. Most people are not aware.
Like actually,
People are not aware.
They don't think it's important.
And let's be real. Most of our parents are. We have a generation. We have so much work in our hands, man.
Yeah.
As in, I was telling a friend that you see, if you're not too careful, you envy your child. Why? Because you see the opportunities they have. And they'll do several things that you never thought of doing.
Yeah, which is
why? Because the era is moving from there was no opportunity. The opportunities now are massive.
But that's why I think that we need to understand. I don't envy any generation, either the ones before or after. And I'll explain why. Because within the context of our experience, we're lessons learned.
That's for reflective mind.
Yes, within the context of our experience. And it's good we talk about it. I found that in Nigeria, we need to be talking Charles. Because life does not exist in vacuums. So if you and I keep quiet, somebody else will say something. You know, we were having a discussion previous and we were saying, in Nigeria, just have knowledge about something and just put it up. Because people will not ask whether you are right or wrong.
And they won't ask, as long as you make
it
so much
It sounds very intelligent. Say, and you know, we're used to this,
deep.
It's deep, even if there was nothing about this statement that, you know.
But I think, no, it's not completely a Nigerian thing.
Not Nigeria. No, I'm talking within the environment that I'm exposed to. So I don't want to say this all happens. Okay, we know it happens everywhere in the world because that's why propaganda has grown.
Yeah.
So propaganda has grown. Media is now one of the most powerful tools in the world to shape the minds of people. Because just put information in this space, people will not ask.
So back to this. The main reason why we had to have you was you're taking a path that is completely new.
Yeah.
Education. I said in the beginning, yes, you've given me stats that makes education lucrative.
Yeah.
But I'm like, not everybody sees education as lucrative.
Of course.
So you're choosing trust me, this is a very tough call.
Yeah.
Now, for you, at what stage in your own journey did you finally figure this was it for you? Because trust me, there are several people that have this burden desire, but we've been sold that fact that this doesn't bring bread and butter on your table. And whether we like it or not, it takes a certain kind of awareness to go after things that are very tangible. At some stages in your life, you open a box, you bring out that thing called your dream, you put it inside and close it.
Close it.
And tell that dream, shut up.
Wait first, let's go and get cash.
Now for you, you've decided to chase this dream.
Yeah.
You're not the first. That have had several dreams. There are
Yeah.
several people that have such.
Yeah.
What was it like for you? And what would you say made you and is still making you move ahead? I'm listening to you from afar, and I have what's that thing for you that is making you still being stubborn about this dream, even though it doesn't look as sexy as it's meant to look, but it's something that you feel very strong and passionate about.
Okay, I think what normally happens is that people always isolate themselves from their dreams, and I'll explain. This is me on one hand. That is the dream I'm pursuing.
Okay.
What that means is, people can explain that in different ways and say, oh, it's because you don't have a talent for the dream, or don't have a passion for the dream, or you just see it as an idea you like, and you're like, that's an idea, it can work. You need to be one with the dream.
Alignment.
You need to be it. You know, I used to ask, what made the Bill Gates and the Steve Jobs of this world sleep in the garage, not eat? They were coding. It wasn't just passion.
It was what?
It was Apple is Jobs. You can't separate them.
They tried separating them.
Anywhere he goes,
it was still him.
Now, in some parlance, they'll say it is the spirit of the essence of the person that is oozing on it. I'm there already. So in my sleep, as I wake, in my dream, it's so bad that if I go and work in a bank now, in 2-3 months, they will have to open a learning space in the bank for us to do. Because my whole essence is about how knowledge can be exchanged.
Dari, when did this happen?
Okay, now, so I left school. I went to serve. Like I told you, from 200 level, I had always liked profound knowledge. So after school, you will always have internal struggles. Internal struggles of...
Especially in this part of the world.
Yes, where you have parents who are pulling in one direction. And
which is their own protective way.
Yes, it's not their fault. They're just being instinctive. And society placing demands on you to have certain responsibilities to,
Which is also natural.
I used to joke one time where, imagine if you are dating a girl and money has also coming in. They have indicated, see this vision. This vision. This our vision will manifest.
No, this is a part we've either passed or we've seen it happen. So it's normal.
They tell her, she wants to say, take me, her birthday is coming.
And you're talking about dreams.
I say, this dream will work. Don't you love me enough? Now, so we had to pass through all those hurdles. You see, and the reason...
someone is listening. See, this question is very deliberate.
I know, I know.
There's someone that is about to maybe make one foolish decision.
But you need to go through them. There is beauty in shame. There is beauty in failure. Because the essence of a dream is tested in shame. I went to speak one time, Charles. As I was done, they gave me a beautiful white envelope. White envelope. And because it was flat, I thought it was a check. Charles. As soon as I came out to take the bus home, I opened, it was 200 notes. Beautifully arranged, new notes.
Daddy, I want you not to grab me up too much.
New notes. You know?
That was a seed.
Well, yes. When you finish speaking, you have to trek with the people that you just spoke to. You trek to the bus stop together. And you just finish giving them a deep thought on how you can. You know? But it's in the process of all those processes. So I can't give you a definite step to say...
It will be unfair.
It will be unfair for you to say this is principle 1, principle 2.
So what you're saying is go and face your own cross.
Face the process. It is in it you build sustainability. People try to teach people how to be focused on their dream. You can't teach somebody that thing. You can't teach it. You need to go. So I tell people say, oh, let me go and work first and I'll start my dream. Forget it. That cycle you don't want to go.
You finally, you're postponing the good day.
Because essence is built in that process. Yes, it's built. So we trekked to go and speak. You trek when I come back. In fact, one time we went to speak somewhere, and when we were done, I stood at the bus stop with the guy, and the guy, I was holding my hand pass that they gave me at the bus stop with. And one guy passed, okay, where's your jeep now? It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was through those times I knew that this had better be. Because after 10 years, Charles, I registered my first organization in 2007. I did that in my first conference in 2007. I wrote my first book in 2007. 10 years. 10 years. So I can't tell you that, oh, on the 14th of June, I just realized that this is it. No. It was on the battlefield. The scars of war.
After several people have been lost.
I looked back and I said, we can't go back to it. This thing, we are here together. After all this, no, we are here. You know, so I think that it's having to go through the process. Having to stay in it, start it. Burn your fingers. That's why these businessmen don't know what to tell you. When you go and meet them, say, sir, what are the principles of? They look at you and say, principles. Enter this thing. Enter it. So when you are in need, the conversations you will not be having will be experiential conversations on how to manage your attitudes.
No more book knowledge.
You will not be so through the process, it will not be about managing your attitudes, your behavioral patterns, your perspectives as you go through the process. That's why investors like people that's why investors ask you, so how many years have you been in this thing?
Yeah, because they don't want a rookie. Nobody wants to throw in their money to.
It's about rookie. You can be Harvard graduate with 6 months experience. That's not what they are looking for. They're trying to find out whether you have found out the essence of this thing you are doing.
Yeah, because that's you can't hide essence.
How many years have you done it? How many times have you failed? How much of your money
have you put in it?
So they're not asking you principled. They're asking you attitudinal questions. That's it.
Okay. You've ended the show. Before we go, The Leadership Revolution, Not Too Young to Lead, by Oludare, Akinlaja, is a book you should go find. Buy.
Thank you.
Now, could you say breaking the coconut in your dialect? Breaking the coconut.
Breaking the coconut. Afẹ́fọ́ àgbọn nìyẹn.